Why do so many people find it so difficult to change deeply ingrained habits? It is a process that, even with all the conscious desire for transformation, often encounters automatic thought patterns that seem impossible to overcome. Daily life, work, family, and home all have an impact, but what few people realize is that these mental patterns are like well-worn paths in the brain, pathways that have been reinforced over years of repetition and have become part of the subconscious. An example is how you brush your teeth. Notice that whenever you start this act, you always begin from the same side of your mouth. The good news is that there is a key to breaking these old mental habits and reprogramming the mind, and that key can be found in Joe Dispenza's revolutionary approach. Joe Dispenza, with all his expertise, explains that neuroplasticity is the foundation for understanding how to reconfigure the mind. This concept describes the brain's ability to create new neural connections in response to new thoughts, emotions, and experiences. It is this ability that allows us not only to unlearn old behaviors, but also to create new thought patterns that support our deepest goals and desires. Dispenza emphasizes that real transformation begins when you become aware of your automatic thoughts and feelings and intentionally choose to create something new. But where to start? First, it is essential to become aware of the recurring thoughts that fuel your unwanted habits. These thoughts, often negative and self-sabotaging, keep you trapped in a repetitive cycle of actions and reactions. Bringing the mind to the present is one of the fundamental practices that Joe Dispenza recommends. Through meditation and mindfulness exercises, you can observe your thoughts without judging them, starting to weaken the power of these automatic patterns. Another key point is understanding that changing mental habits requires not only interrupting old patterns, but also introducing new practices and positive emotions. Visualizing a desired future and emotionally connecting with it creates a new path for the brain. This practice of visualization, combined with feelings of gratitude and joy, strengthens new neural connections and paves the way for sustained change. According to Dispenza, when you practice feeling the emotion of a desired future, your body begins to respond as if that future were already real, accelerating mental reprogramming. Therefore, the journey to break old mental habits and reprogram the mind begins with awareness and is strengthened through daily practice of presence, meditation, and visualization. These are the first steps to break free from automatic conditioning and create a new reality where you are not a victim of your thoughts, but the author of your transformation. To understand how to break old mental habits, it is essential first to comprehend how mental programming works. Our mind is a complex combination of conscious thoughts and subconscious processes that shape who we are and how we respond to the world. This programming begins early in life and is reinforced over the years through the repetition of experiences, beliefs, and thought patterns. Every time you repeat a behavior or thought, neurons in the brain fire together and strengthen these connections. This process is described by the principle of neuroplasticity. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change and reorganize. Although mental patterns may often seem difficult to alter, this adaptive capacity of the brain means that it is possible to break old habits and create new neural pathways. However, the subconscious mind, where these habits are deeply rooted, plays a powerful role. It acts as an autopilot, guiding our actions and responses automatically to save energy. This is why, even when we consciously decide to change something in our lives, old patterns tend to resurface. Joe Dispenza explains that repetition and emotion are crucial elements in forming mental patterns. A simple example of this is how we learn to drive. At first, the process requires full attention and conscious effort. Over time and with practice, driving becomes automatic, a task controlled by the subconscious. The same process applies to our thoughts and emotions, which repeat and consolidate, creating automatic beliefs and behaviors. To reprogram these patterns, it is necessary to bring mindfulness to the present and interrupt automatic thoughts and reactions. The practice of meditation plays a vital role in this process. Meditating helps to slow down brain waves, placing the mind in more receptive states, such as alpha and theta, which are ideal for reprogramming. In these states, it is easier to access the subconscious and start replacing old patterns with new ones. Dispenza emphasizes that an important step is identifying these limiting patterns and observing how they affect your daily life. For example, recurring feelings of fear or inadequacy may stem from past experiences and continue to shape your decisions. Recognizing these thoughts allows you to begin challenging them consciously. With daily practices such as meditation and visualization, you not only disrupt old habits but also create new neural connections that support a more positive mindset aligned with your goals. The key to change, according to Joe Dispenza, lies in breaking the cycle of automatic habits and intentionally creating new patterns of thought and behavior. Real transformation begins when you acknowledge that your subconscious thoughts drive your daily actions, shaping your life experiences. Changing this requires more than a conscious decision. It demands consistent practice involving both mind and body. First step, become aware of the automatic thoughts that arise throughout the day. These repetitive thoughts, often negative or limiting, reinforce the same neural circuits that sustain old habits. By observing them without judgment, you begin to create a conscious pause that interrupts the automatic process. Second step, integrate meditation as a practical tool. Guided meditations or mindfulness practices help access deeper mental states, like alpha and theta waves, where the subconscious is more susceptible to suggestion. In these states, it is possible to visualize new behaviors and, with positive emotion, create a mental environment conducive to forming new neural connections. Third step, adopt the practice of creative visualization. When you imagine yourself in a new situation, experiencing the emotion of already achieving a goal, your brain does not distinguish between real and imagined experiences. Dispenza highlights that, by repeating this practice, you train your body to anticipate the emotions of a new experience, strengthening the neural pathways that support this new reality. Change is consolidated through repetition and emotion. The more you practice feeling the emotion of a desired future, whether joy, gratitude, or satisfaction, the more your brain begins to reorganize its connections to reflect that new experience. Oxytocin, for instance, released during moments of gratitude, not only promotes well-being but also reduces stress and helps stabilize new emotional memories. Finally, patience and consistency are essential. Reprogramming the mind is a process that occurs through regular practice and active engagement. Each time you consciously interrupt an old thought and replace it with a positive visualization, you are strengthening a new neural pathway and weakening the old one. Over time, this new pathway becomes the dominant pattern, and you find yourself living a version of yourself more aligned with your goals and dreams. The key to change, therefore, is realizing that you have the power to be the architect of your mind and reality. This begins with conscious intention, reinforced by practices that integrate mind and body into a process of renewal. Overcoming limiting patterns is one of the most challenging and transformative aspects of mental reprogramming work. Joe Dispenza teaches that these patterns, which seem immutable, are actually the result of repeated thoughts and behaviors that solidified into neural networks. These patterns often manifest as limiting beliefs, internal phrases like, "I am not capable," or "this is impossible for me," which subconsciously control our actions and perceptions. To overcome these patterns, the first step is awareness. Recognizing these limiting thoughts as they arise is crucial. When you become aware of your automatic thoughts, you begin to weaken their power. Dispenza recommends that you observe these thoughts as an observer, without reacting emotionally to them. This act of observing is powerful, as it helps break the emotional association that keeps the pattern active. The practice of conscious substitution is the next step. Whenever a limiting thought arises, intentionally replace it with a positive affirmation that reflects the new pattern you wish to establish. For example, replace "I'm not good enough" with "I have the skills and strength to face any challenge." Repeating these affirmations while in a relaxed state, such as during meditation, amplifies their effects, as the subconscious is more open to new suggestions in this state. Another vital component is incorporating positive emotions. Dispenza states that emotion is the catalyst for change. When you feel joy, gratitude, or excitement as you visualize a different future, your body responds as if it is already living that reality. This not only strengthens new neural networks but also helps break the association with negative emotional patterns that sustain limiting beliefs. The practice of mental rehearsal is also an effective tool. Visualize yourself in challenging situations and see how you react differently with confidence and clarity. This exercise helps the brain prepare to respond in new ways when these situations occur in real life. Finally, overcoming limiting patterns is a process that requires consistency. You are essentially training your brain like a muscle, reinforcing new pathways while allowing the old ones to weaken. Over time, you will notice that the limiting patterns no longer hold the same power over you, and that new behaviors and thoughts become automatic. The result is a stronger, more empowered version of yourself, ready to explore new possibilities and fulfill your full potential. Reaching the end of this journey on how to break old mental habits and overcome limiting patterns leads to an important reflection. Transformation starts and ends with you. Joe Dispenza reminds us that, by becoming aware of our automatic thoughts and feelings and taking deliberate steps to change them, we take on the role of active creators of our lives. The key to this change lies in daily practice, patience with oneself, and the courage to challenge beliefs that have long seemed unquestionable. By applying the described techniques of meditation, visualization, and thought substitution, you not only alter your mental programming but start living in a state of greater presence and intentionality. This opens the doors to a life of more freedom and fulfillment, where choices are guided by purpose rather than old patterns. Now, the call to action. Take a moment today to start this mental reprogramming journey. Begin with a simple meditation, observe your thoughts, and practice replacing a limiting thought with an empowering affirmation. Repeat this daily and watch how change unfolds. The final message is clear. You have the power to shape your mind and, consequently, your reality. With consistency and dedication, transforming old mental habits into new positive patterns is possible and within your reach. Take control and become the most authentic and fulfilled version of yourself.